Well, good morning everyone and welcome to what is an incredibly exciting day, the launch of the Beyond Blue National Education Initiative. In mid-2017, Beyond Blue won a Commonwealth Government tender to develop a new education initiative that would be free to every early learning service, primary and secondary school across the nation. As a director of Beyond Blue since 2014, I was absolutely over the moon to be asked to chair the National Advisory Council that would oversee the design and the development of that initiative. It has been one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life. Today is the culmination of over a year of negotiations, consultations and collaborations with literally hundreds of experts, including teachers, principals, early learning service professionals, parents, young people, academics, and state and territory education and health departments. Now, before we get to the official launch and reveal the name of our new initiative, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. Yes, it's a big surprise to all of you, okay? I want a big gasp when Julia says it, okay? I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. Today's Welcome to Country is going to be delivered by Auntie Julianne Axford, who is a Wurundjeri Tribe Council Elder.
Womanjeka everyone. Womanjeka meaning welcome. My name is Auntie Julianne and I'm an elder of the Wurundjeri people. And in recognition of doing my welcome today, I'd like to pay my respects to my elders past, present and if there happens to be any elders here today. I would also like to welcome the Honourable Julia Gillard, Joanna Griggs, Principal Lorraine Bell and all the other guests as well. I feel very honoured to be doing this welcome here today for the launching of the online platform being funded by the government that is going to provide professional learning and education. The Wurundjeri tribe consists of three families, the Nevins, the Terricks and the Wandans, and I am part of the Nevin family. The three families all descend from one woman called Annie Borat, which makes us one big family. Annie Borat is the younger sister of William Barrick, a pioneer for Aboriginal people in the 19th century fighting for equality and land rights. I'm here today to welcome you all to the land of my ancestors. We call the land within our tribal boundaries our country. The Kulin Nation, Kulin meaning man, is made up of 5 groups. They are the Wurrung Wurundjeri, Boonwurrung, Tanarong, Watharong and Dja Dja Wurrung. And to give you an outline of the Wurundjeri country and the area we cover, Wurundjeri country extends from north to the Great Dividing Range, east to Mount Baw Baw, south to the Morley Creek and west of the Werribee River. We cover a diverse range of land from the mountains to the beach and everything in between. Many thousands of years ago, if an Aboriginal person from another tribe wanted to cross over our boundary, they would have to sit at the boundary and wait for the Narragator, which is the head man, or an elder to come past to give them permission to cross. Traditional Aboriginal culture was highly territorial and visitors risked a violent reprisal for crossing a tribal land or clan boundary without permission. This is how a welcome to country originated in our culture. Traditionally, being welcomed onto country meant you respected Bunjil's law. Bunjil is the wedge-tailed eagle and is our creator. And as long as you looked after the country, you had access to our waterways and our land resources. And when you enter our country, we ask that you respect our resources, our fauna, flora and water, as they are very special to us. And when you leave, we ask that you leave it the way you have found it. So I hope you all have an enjoyable day. And on behalf of my elders, I would like to say, Womanjeka Wurundjeri Bullock Yemen Kundai Beg, welcome to the land of the Wurundjeri people. And I'd also like to apologise that I do have to leave straight away. I do have to get to work. So yeah, I hope you all have an enjoyable day. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Julianne. Thank you for that lovely welcome to country. You do it too. Can you just pretend to be surprised when you find out the name of it, okay? Excellent. That'd be really great. But thank you very much. And have fun at work today.
Yeah,
Look, I have to say thank you to a huge number of other people and organisations that have worked alongside us, with us, every step of the day of the way to help us to actually reach this point. Our National Advisory Council, many members that I can see in the audience today, the chairs and the CEOs, Beyond Blue, Georgie Harmon, our CEO, Headspace CEO, Jason Treth-Owen, and Early Childhood Australia CEO, Samantha Page. And to all of your staff, of our amazing partners, I hope that you can literally send a huge thank you from everyone at Beyond Blue. They've just been absolutely incredible. So my fellow Beyond Blue directors, Mukesh Haikawal is in the audience, Tim Marnie, Professor Brett McDermott. Now he's actually a long-time director who is no longer on the board, but he is actually part of the National Advisory Council as well. So thank you to you guys. To our principals, our teachers, our early learning service professionals, and to those that represent you. To parents and to young people, to our academics, to our mental health colleagues, including Lucy Brogden, who's the chair of the National Mental Health Commission, to all, the education and health officials from the Commonwealth, from every state and territory. Thank you all. Now this event is actually being live streamed right around Australia, so for everyone who's watching it all over the place, a big hello and a welcome to you as well. Now the Federal Minister for Health, the Honourable Greg Hunt, and the Federal Education Minister, the Honourable Dan Tehan, have extended their apologies for today's launch, but we are very appreciative that they have taken the time to send the following recorded messages of support.
Welcome to the launch of BU. BU is about building a mentally healthy generation. It's about ensuring that our young people have the support and have the pathway to seek help and to get the right help. And BU is perfectly titled. The message is in the name. It says to every young Australian, it's important that you feel free to be yourself. And there's a very simple reason, because if we are pretending to be someone other than who we are, we won't feel right. It's all about being yourself. We know that mental health can be a challenge for all of us, any Australian at any time. And almost half of mental health issues and challenges later in life begin under the age of 14. So I'm particularly talking to our young people today to say that this program is about you. It's about ensuring that you have the support and the care and the resources to seek help when you need it. And it's about supporting our magnificent teachers and educators and carers so as they have the framework and the tools to be able to work with young people. It's about focusing on the message that young people can be themselves, but that it's perfectly okay to have a mental health challenge. It's normal, it's part of life. In the same way that we can have a knee injury or a cold or the flu, all of us at any time can be susceptible to a mental health challenge or a mental health issue. So firstly, seek the help. Secondly, know that there is the support. And thirdly, know that sometimes it can be tough and there is a pathway through and there is a way through. People care. They want you to be yourself. They want you to recover. So Beyond Blue is synonymous with caring. And whether it was Jeff Kennett, whether it's Julia Gillard, who's doing such a great job now, or all of the team of carers and professionals and volunteers who are involved in this program, they're here for you, they're here to assist, they're here to give you a long, clear, healthy future. I particularly want to thank Early Childhood Australia and Headspace, two great Australian organisations, for their cooperation with Beyond Blue in bringing this great initiative to the reach of every Australian family and every Australian educator and child. So I want to thank you, I want to acknowledge you, and I want to say that above all else, Be You is all about being yourself, knowing that there's the support and knowing that there is the care that you can seek help at any time. Take care and be you.
As Australia's Education Minister, it's wonderful to be playing a part in the launch of BU, this wonderful framework which will ensure we build a mentally healthy next generation. It's absolutely important that when it comes to early childhood learning, when it comes to what we do at primary schools and in our secondary schools, that we have a focus on the mental health of our young Australians. We pay a hell of a lot of attention to our physical health, but it's absolutely important that we get the balance right, that we treat our mental health as importantly as we do our physical health. In one way or another, we've all been touched by those who have, in one way or another, had to battle with a mental illness, whether it be as a parent, as a brother or sister, or as a relative and friend. So, with this resource, we'll be ensuring that not only do our educators, our principals, our teachers have a resource which will help them educate young Australians, but also it will be something to help them to be able to talk with friends and relatives as they meet the challenges of mental health as well. Can I acknowledge and pay tribute to Beyond Blue for the work they've done with this program? Can I also thank Headspace for what they've done and Early Childhood Australia? This is an incredibly important tool. As Minister Hunt has said, it's very important that we get the message out there to those especially under the age of 14, because it's often what happens up to the age of 14 which will determine how your mental health develops into your adult life. So a big thank you to everyone who's been involved with this. It's an incredibly important tool for our schools, for our kindergartens, for our early childhood learning institutions. I know with this tool we will go another step to ensuring that the next generation has a mentally healthy environment to grow up in, and that they are looking after their mental health as well as they do their physical health.
Now to launch the initiative, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce the chair of Beyond Blue, a woman I'm pretty sure you're all fairly familiar with, the Honourable Julia Gillard AC.
Thank you very much to Joanna for that introduction. Bit of a JG show today. In case you're in any doubt, she's the tall one. Thank you to Auntie Julianne for that wonderful welcome to country, and we do understand that she had to get off to work. To Monmere Principal Lorraine Bell and your staff and students, thank you for letting us take over Year 3 and 4 classrooms this morning, and thank you for everything else you've done to host today. It's just been delightful, and the kids have been wonderful. And my thanks to so many who have worked alongside us to reach today. I have the honour of leading much important work as Chair of Beyond Blue, but today is particularly special for me. Today brings together my two passions, education and mental health, with the simple message, mentally healthy kids learn better. So it's my privilege to officially launch BU. I think you might have already worked that out, and then from Minister Hunt's message, but to officially launch BU. BU is mental health training for educators. By educators, I mean the staff and managers in early learning services and the teachers and principals in schools. BU will give them the knowledge and tools they need to look after students and children and their own mental health. Times have changed. Schools are no longer yes sir, no sir, top-down institutions, and teaching is about so much more than following the curriculum. 560,000 children in Australia between the ages of 4 and 17 have had a mental health issue in the past year, 560,000. And 40% of parents say their child's mental health issues were first noticed in school. Schools and early learning staff are dealing with these issues every day. Many are relying on instinct, empathy and goodwill to pick up signs that a child is not coping. They may notice that a normally happy student has become withdrawn or is disengaged from school, no longer enjoying the things that they once loved. They may notice that something is not right, but they don't know what's wrong or what to do about it. BU will change that. It will give them the confidence they need to intervene, to make inquiries, and to know where to go and what to do if a young person is in need. When a whole school or early learning service registers for BU, families will know that this is a place that is especially focused on the well-being of their children from morning drop-off to afternoon pick-up. This is a learning community committed to student well-being that is literate about mental health issues, can identify the signs and symptoms of somebody struggling, and knows how to support them to get the help they need. BU is designed for busy educators. We want it to be easy for them. From those training to join the profession to our most experienced principals, teachers and early learning staff. And it's all free. Families will be able to get to know BU too, visit the website, browse the content, or register for a deeper dive into this rich resource. Parents will be able to rely on the information they find in BU for use in their daily lives. Just over a year ago, Beyond Blue joined forces with our delivery partners, Early Childhood Australia and Headspace. We have employed 70 BU support staff around the country. They're trained and ready to go. It's been a massive and complex undertaking, but BU has solid foundations and is backed by evidence. It takes the best from well-established programs that have been supporting educators for a decade, but importantly, replaces them with a single integrated national approach, avoiding duplication, a constant from when kids transition from home to early learning, to primary, to secondary school. BU recognises that real change will only occur when a whole school or early learning service community is pulling together. This is exactly what the National Mental Health Commission said should happen in its landmark review of 2014. This approach was endorsed by the Lancet Global Commissioners, who earlier this month found one of the best investments to improve population mental health is to start early and build confidence, literacy and capacity in educational settings involving staff, students, parents and the local community. And new Australian research out this week shows students with persistent emotional or behaviour problems fall a year behind their peers in numeracy between years 3 and 7, with similar, although smaller trends in reading. We know the need is great. Half of all lifelong mental health conditions emerge by age 14. That's why we need BU, because when you are mentally healthy, you are better able to be your best self. When you have the self-confidence to say, this is who I am, it becomes easier to respect others for being true to themselves. Part of the answer lies in giving children and young people the social and emotional skills they need from the early years, introducing them to these skills and strategies in our early learning services, then building on them as they develop during primary and secondary school. Every day, early learning professionals, principals, teachers and other staff, alongside parents and carers, are shaping and developing future generations. With every interaction, every gesture, every word, they are showing our children how to behave, how to react, how to relate to others, how to express themselves, how to be themselves. Teaching takes skill, compassion, energy, creativity and patience, all day, every day. Our nation, our children and young people need educators who are at their best. They are vital to our nation's prosperity and to a better future for our children and young people. So BU will also be a resource to support the mental health of educators too. With BU, we have the opportunity to grow Australia's most mentally healthy generation. It's a big ambition, and to achieve it, we're asking everybody to get involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Julia. And may I just say I'm very happy to be the less shiny, less polished part of JG Squared. Well, for those of you that don't know, and as Julia alluded to, Beyond Blue has actually been working in education settings for well over a decade already through our mental health in primary schools and early learning services via Kids Matter and in secondary schools with Mind Matters. BU brings all of this together. One of the wonderful things about this initiative, BU, is its simplicity when it comes to actually accessing and using it, which has evolved from feedback and knowledge from the very people who have been and who will continue to use it. So early learning services, primary and secondary schools that were previously registered with Kids Matter and Mind Matters will now be automatically transferred across to BU, where they can build on what they already know and expand their offerings and expertise under a single national initiative. Now, I know that is particularly important to the staff, the students and the school community at Monmere Primary School, which has been a very proud Kids Matter school and a fine example of what BU aims to achieve. The leadership team at Monmere Primary School were recently nominated for the Outstanding Advancement Award for 2018 in the Victorian Education Excellence Awards. Congratulations. Monmere's community truly lives by the school's values, which you would have seen on the pencils as you came in today, of honesty, caring, respect, acceptance and friendliness. As we all know, great leadership comes from the top, so it is my absolute pleasure to introduce a lady who is the epitome of all these values, Monmere Primary School Principal, Ms. Lorraine Bell.
Thank you, Joanna, and I also would like to thank the Honourable Julia Gillard, AC and Beyond Blue Chair, for the opportunity to host this launch of BU here today. I also want to welcome you all to Monmere. This is very gratifying for us and a true honour. Monmere Primary School became a Kids Matter school, pilot school, in 2007. The opportunity to access this initiative was too good to pass up, as it aligned perfectly into our school vision and values of community engagement. The framework has served our community so well over a long period of time. Our school community is culturally diverse. For many of our parents, Monmere became their family, as often their extended family were living overseas. The Kids Matter initiative helped us to develop actions to engage and connect more of our families with the school and to feel included in our community. Our action team started with a very small group of parents and has continued to flourish as this team has become truly representative of our cultural diversity. We proudly espouse that we are a Kids Matter school, and it is a testament to this mental health initiative that we've been able to sustain it for 12 years, unlike many other initiatives that come and go. We were very gratified to be recognised as a Kids Matter school nationally in 2013, and now we are very proud to be able to transition to a BU school. Kids Matter has supported the mental health of our students and community through key actions that have become embedded practice. These key actions were beneficial for our school and community, providing these outcomes. Families previously uninvolved in the school were engaged through a variety of community events and lifting the sense of school connectedness that was felt by the parents. Students feel safe in our school and they engage happily with their peers, staff and community members. Many visitors to our school comment on the friendliness and warm welcome they receive from students and staff. Students understand the importance of relationships and are confident to approach staff with any concerns for themselves or their peers. By 2016, relative growth in reading was well above the achievement of similar schools, and in 2017 the school surpassed all expectations and achieved high levels of relative growth in overall literacy and numeracy testing scores. This has continued to be sustained in 2018 in our reading data. This is directly attributed to the focus on developing the expertise of teachers to build a positive climate for learning and to consistently deliver excellence in teaching and learning. The Guiding Coalition, the leadership of this school, has been adamant that instruction and wellbeing are intrinsically linked. Monmea's success is largely due to the vision of achievement embraced by the whole school community, demonstrating that when everyone unites, students' learning improves. Our success has been recognised by DET as we were finalists in the Victorian Education Excellence Awards last week. And BU will allow us to continue to bring about the best educational outcomes for our students. It is very exciting for our school community to be part of the launch of BU. BU will continue to support us in our community in our ongoing commitment to prioritising student wellbeing. The increased accessibility to ongoing professional learning via online tools and resources will assist us to continue to provide our staff and parents with the skills and confidence to support the mental health of our students. At Monmea, we have been strong advocates as a Kids Matter school, and now we will be strong advocates as a BU school. This will provide a common framework and language across all education settings. This aligns well with the Department of Education Framework's policy of positive climate for learning and in the Victorian curriculum, learning in personal and social capabilities. Students' mental health and wellbeing has to be a collaborative and community focus, and therefore the engagement of parents in that partnership with the school is crucial. As educators, it is our responsibility to foster the importance of mental health and wellbeing in our school and in our wider communities. Principals and their staff need to be role models for their own wellbeing. At Monmea, we believe that we need to focus on the importance of balance on academic, social and emotional learning to meet the needs of the whole child. We are proud to be a BU school. Thank you.
Well done, Lorraine. That is music to our ears. And in fact, the chair who's sitting right next to you, I might call upon her to give you a little thank you on behalf of us for having everyone here today. Just a small bunch, she's organised. Thank you, Julia. Pretty much the most overqualified person to present a bunch of flowers in Australia. Lorraine, though, seriously, we all got to experience today the friendliness of the school, the incredible leadership team that you had that greeted everyone. And as we walked down here today, they gave Julia and I a fabulous tour. It was absolutely delightful to see. So I personally have the utmost respect for you, your staff and your support staff here at this school, because my mum was a teacher for 30 years. Occasionally she was a stand-in vice principal and occasionally a stand-in principal. But she was a woman who impacted the lives of so many people. She worked really hard and she cared a lot. She's been retired for a while now, and yet my siblings and I can hardly go anywhere without someone stopping us to tell us the impact that our mum had on their lives. I think it's pretty powerful to reflect on the fact of how many people she actually took the time to notice, to actually really care about, to ask them how they were going, how they were feeling, whether or not everything was okay in their lives and how they were coping. I think when I think about what my goal is for BU and what we are all trying to achieve, is that every single child and young person has the greatest level of understanding about mental health issues and the support that is available for them out there. We want them to go into an educational environment and come out feeling resilient, feeling positive and supported, and importantly, to recognise that mental health conditions are in both themselves and in others, and the key is to catch those signs early. I come from a background in sports where, funnily enough, you're actually taught to ask for help when you have problems. In fact, it becomes second nature. So to this day, I still see a psychologist every time I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't even question it. Because I do come from that background where occasionally admitting that you need help is actually the norm. I also know the sense of enormous relief, the feeling of pressure being released, the clarity in my thoughts that all of a sudden comes when I get the help that I need. And it saddens me to think that there is still a great number of people who, for whatever reason, might feel ashamed or feel like they can't ask for help. So when I think about that and I reflect on previous generations that would have never even thought to have asked for help, I know that my ultimate goal, and I know I'm not alone with this, and yes, as Julia said, it is a lofty one. It is that we can create an entire generation that doesn't think twice about asking for support for a mental health condition. We want a generation that sees their optimal physical health is only truly possible with great mental health, because honestly, you can't have one without the other. Anyway, that's enough from me for now. I would like to thank everybody for attending, the media that have gathered here today. Really appreciate it. We are going to ask if you would like to stay. We've got, look at that. It just appeared suddenly behind us. We have morning tea for you over here, so please hang around. And we'll also get the media to come into the room adjacent to us for a media conference. We'll have Beyond Blue Chair, the Honourable Julia Gillard. We'll have Monmere Primary School Principal, Ms Lorraine Bell. Beyond Blue CEO, Georgie Harmon. Headspace CEO, Jason Trethowan. And Early Childhood Australia CEO, Samantha Page. I'll also ring in, make myself available if you need it, make sure it runs accordingly. And we will also, for the media, have filming opportunities in both the classrooms and the schoolyard at the conclusion of the media conference. But as we wrap up the formal part of today's proceedings, I'm going to leave you with this one last recording that encapsulates the vision for BU. Thank you all.